Hello. In this video we are going to discuss how to create data entry forms for IGCSE ICT exam. This one is specifically from paper 2 and this one is from the database part. This type of tasks are not always included in the examination, but they can be included, so let's see what is a typical workflow to deal with that. So in this video we're going to discuss two past papers and how to solve them, specifically the part about data entry forms. So let's start. The first one we're going to work with is from June 2024 past paper. This is paper 2.1. Let's take a look. So we only here again going to focus on creating the entry form. The first step, as always, let's make evidence document. So I already have the folder work area for that purpose. So I'm going to open the evidence document and real quick create the file. Let's take a look. So as always, in the evidence document, you should put your name, surname, and center number, can number in the header of the document. Yeah, it has to be on every, well, it doesn't have to be on header, but it has to be on every page. So let's put it in the header, and then we save it in specific name, like specified here. This part is more or less straightforward, so let me just put it like this, and here's just some information, some center number, some candidate number, and let me just save the file to the folder. So I want to save it in this folder, in the work area folder, and the name of this should be evidence, my candidate number, and type has to be Word document. And we want to change it, so we save the file. Let's keep this file open so we can put the screenshots here. This part is about evidence. Again, let's just skip to the database part. Well, everything which is necessary to create entry form. So first of all, let's import the tables to the database. You're not. Let's take a look. You're now going to prepare a report. Dates are imported in the format day, month, year. This is usually a default format, so we just want to make sure it's actually specified like that. All right. So first of all, let's go to the folder and create a new database. You can open Access program in the search and save it, or you can, if that's an option for your computer, you can just right-click New and then create database. Doesn't matter how you call it, you can call it like DB for database, for example. Let's open that, enable content, and first of all, let's import the table with the information. So the first table we should import is child.csv table. Here we have some information, how old names should be and data types for that. Let's try to do it. So to import the file in your database, you should go to external data, and here it depends actually on the version of Access you are using. For me, I have the button new data source, from file, text file. Sometimes you may have just button like import from the text file, something like this. So just please be careful to use the import section, not the export section. Yeah, so import section as we want to actually add something to our database. So for me, I go from file, text file. Let me search for my folder. I guess it's somewhere in here. The first table should be child.csv, so I'm just going to open it and specify. So here the first step, we leave it as it is. always, from all the papers I've seen, we always use the default separator, which is comma, so pretty much you just go next here. We use the separator, which is again always comma. We should tick this box, first row contain field names, so that the first row would not be content, but it would be the titles of each column. In this step, also very important to go to advanced section, so that we can specify some settings which are not possible to specify later. Let's take a look. So we can just check ourselves that right, date order is actually DMY, date, month, year, as we've been asked for. It's already by default, and let's just make sure that types are fine as well. So the first 4 has to be text. They can be short text, this is fine. Then we have DOB and reg date has to be date time, so we have that as well, this is fine. Then we have to put food allergy has to boolean or logical and displays yes no. So this part boolean logical we're going to fix here, so we're going to go here and instead of long integer boolean logical type we specify using yes no. Let's continue. We for the next 3 types they should be text, so we have text, short text, but the last one is long integer for some reason, so let's actually fix it to short text. So this is important, just be careful here, and sometimes, like for example here for me the last field is not visible, so make sure to go to the last field and just check that all fields have a specific correct type. Great, that's about it. Let's click OK here. Yeah, just a second, let me check. This is all short text, good. Right, here we go. Next, this step we can use if we need to skip some field. Here we don't need to skip, they don't tell us anything about skipping, so let's go next. Now let's choose primary key. Here they say, what do they say? Set child ID as primary key, so let's go and specify choose my own primary key and choose child ID as primary key. Amazing, finish, create table. We have here table. Sometimes a table may not appear in the, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 seconds, that's the longest, so don't worry, just give it a moment, it will appear here on the left. We have our table just so that we can see all the information. What I like to do is to make it completely visible. So it's similar to Excel. If you used it before, you have to click on the left bottom kind of square here to select everything, and then just double click in the middle between two columns or 2 rows. Okay, 2 columns, any 2 columns, so that it will kind of fit it, try to fit it in the just enough space so everything is visible. Right, so we actually did already a lot, and we also should make sure that we finished kind of this part which they asked to do, asked us to do here. So specifically what kind of thing? So we have to check the display part, that it is day, month, year. It's already day, month, year, so they don't specify kind of exactly how it should be displayed. That looks alright, just some day, month, year, it's alright. And this is important, we want food allergy information to display it as yes no as text, and right now we have checkboxes, so this we should fix. Let's right click on the name of the table and go design view. We have information, so how to fix the food allergy thing. We have to choose this field here. Then in the kind of settings below, we should go to lookup section, and here we should choose text box. So be careful, sometimes it's not always as it looks, but okay, I mean, it's supposed to be text box for yes no, just to make sure that it works fine for you. I think in the version of like older version 2006, it's not text box, it's combo box for some reason. So just you can, if you're not sure, for example, you choose text box, then you save it, then you go to datasheet view, and for some reason if it doesn't show you yes no, you can just choose one of those 3 options to see what does it show you. Okay, now it works great. Let's, as always, we should take screenshot of what we just did, and put it in evidence document. Yeah, so let's take a screenshot. We can do it with Windows keys. So for me it's Windows Shift S, and I can just select the things which are interested for the task. So what is important is to include the name of the field, the primary key little icon next to child ID, and all the field names and types should be included as well. So this is going to be screenshot. Let's go to our evidence document and place it for the step. Here this was step 11. Amazing. Okay, let's see. So we just put the first table. Let's fix the second table. So right, import bookings file.csv is a new table. Use these field names and data types and create a primary key, like a new one called ID. Let's do it. So let's go and import one more table. We go external data, new data source from file, text file. We need bookings. Let's see. Okay. All right, here in first step, we just go next. We have to tick the box first row contain field names. Let's just make sure that field types are all right. DMY. Okay, 3 texts. This is what we have, date, time, and last one also text. Okay, it's already great. We just click OK, don't change anything, but again, it's a good idea to open it to see if all the fields have correct types. Let's go next. We don't need to skip any fields, they don't ask for this, so let's go next. For the primary key, as they say, we have to create a primary key, so we have to create a new one. This option is the first one. We have to call it ID. They always ask to call it ID, so it's kind of default name, so let's just keep the first option pressed and let's go next. All right, we did pretty much what they asked for, so let's go and we can close this table. Also, let's make this table completely visible, and let's just make sure that all the settings are kind of specified from the task. So here, I guess the only thing left is to fix the display part. So kind of we have to put the start time and end time to be displayed like this. This is pretty straightforward. Let's go to start time. Let's select it. Yeah, you click on this row with the start time. And to specify, we have to go in the format section here. And there's 2 ways you can either choose from options. For me, it's short time. I can just choose it, or you can just type yourself. This is pretty much the same thing. It will kind of fix automatically, yeah, for you. And let's do the same thing for end time as well. So let's put HH 2.mm. Let's save it. Just in case, before taking screenshot, I would like to make sure it's working fine, great. And as always, for the edit, I mean, most of the time, sometimes they don't ask you, but usually they say place the evidence document in the evidence document, the screenshot. So let's do this one. Let's do Windows Shift S for a screenshot. We again have to take the name, primary key symbol, and all the fields and types. And let's put it in the same step actually. Yeah, step 11, just make sure it's kind of right below and still in the step 11 part. Yeah, great, we did this part. Next one, we have to create a relationship between fields. So what they say, create one-to-many relationship between child ID fields in the child and bookings table. Take a screenshot. Classical question here, right? So we have to make this relationship between two tables. So let's save it, let's close it. How to create relationship? We have to go to database tools, choose relationships, and here we have, when you click it, we have tables. So we have to add those tables. We have to double click or just select and click add, doesn't matter. So let me just double click on bookings, double click on child table. If you accidentally click something twice, you can just right click on the name of the table and you can choose hide table. Or for example, if you accidentally forget or you forgot to add some table, you can just right click on this gray area and choose show table, and again this will be opened. Just in case, let me just make it a bit bigger so all the fields are visible. So for this task we should connect two fields. Well, here what they say, relationship between child ID fields in the child and bookings table. So there has to be a field in each of those tables. So it's child ID fields. It means in both of the tables, kind of, we want to connect child ID from one to child ID in another table. That's the logic. So let's do it. How to do it? We have to, I just want to move it so you can see kind of the dynamic, I don't know, here. So how to do it? We can just click on one and drag it and drop on another one. That's it. You can just make sure, if you, for example, misclick, you accidentally put it on another field, it's not a problem. You can just change it here. Yeah, in this menu you can choose whatever you want. Again, all the papers I've seen here, they ask you to make one-to-many relationship. So in order to kind of confirm that you did everything fine, you can just check yourself and make sure that it says one-to-many here below. This is important part. It says one-to-many in the task here. Yeah, they say one-to-many, create one-to-many relationship. And before actually clicking create, let's take a screenshot of this, because that's what kind of classical thing to do for those tasks. Yeah, so let's take a screenshot, then we click create. You can see the relationship has been created, and let's paste this screenshot in the evidence document. One little detail I want to mention, maybe let's try to force it to be on the same page, because kind of it's not kind of super nice when you have title on one page, screenshot on another page. Let's just maybe click on the beginning, go Control Enter to force it to be on the next page. So now they are together. Just looks a bit better. This is a relationship, again, amazing. Let's just close that stuff. Right, so for this specific paper, you also have step 13, where you have to create table report. I'm gonna skip this part just for the purpose of this video, where we only focus on entry forms. So let's take a look. So here's the part about entry form. You're now going to create data entry form. The form will contain radio buttons for the user to select one option. Data from the selected option must be stored in a new field that you will create in a child table. Okay, we just have to make an entry form, make it, I guess, add extra button there, like radio button they say, store it somehow in the table. So more or less typical steps. So let's take a look. Here kind of they just explain what to do, and then you have the breakdown into step-by-step breakdown what actually to do. So don't worry if you didn't understand from the description, they just actually guide you through what to do. Step 14, insert a new field in the child table named ailment ID, which will be used to store data from radio buttons. Okay, set the most appropriate data type. Then we have to take a screenshot. Okay, so this part may be a little bit tricky, because so what we should do, insert a new field in the child table, and this field has to be called ailment ID. This is all right. So let's go to child table, let's go to design view, right click on this tab, design view. So we just have to add it in the end, but here the tricky part was to set appropriate data type. Maybe, how do you say it, like, so because we store information from radio buttons, radio button is what? Is like something with some number of options, like choose out of 5 options. Yeah, and what is kind of hint here for the data type is the word ID. So kind of it's choice between short text and integer, like number. So because ID is usually number, so it's just some integer number like 1, 2, 3, or from just some integer number. So let's choose the number, yeah, here. So if it was, for example, just ailment without ID with some text, most probably it should be short text as a type. But here, because ID, we're gonna use number as a type. Again, I mean, you can change it in the end, but obviously it's better to decide the right one before making everything. So let's try to make a new field. So we just start typing ailment underscore ID with a capital ID, and type of this, let's make it number, and let's make sure it's actually integer, because we don't want decimal here, yeah, because there's no point. We just ID is just some number we give for kind of like something out of 5 here, like some number in range. All right, so this is going to be our new field in the table. So, and we should also take screenshot showing all the fields and data types. So we have to just take screenshot again of our table. Let's save it, and Windows Shift S, and take screenshot again of the whole table with new field edit. This is going to be step 14. This is step 14. Let's continue. So here we have step 15, create a columnar data entry form using selected fields from the child table. So here, okay, we start kind of actually creating data entry form. What do we have here? So we have to make it the columnar. The word columnar is actually default. This is like entry form are pretty much by default columnar. So you will see it in the settings. And here they say what to do. So we have to use child table as a kind of base source of information. Then we have to put these fields. So we only choose those fields which are listed here: last name, first name, child ID. Yeah, all these fields which are listed. Display one record at a time. This is, I guess, by default. Just in case when you will see data entry form, this is basically nice kind of tool, so you can add a new information, new record in the table, instead of just opening table and typing things. And you can also add some kind of restrictions on that. So let's take a look how to actually create it. How to create entry form. Let's close the table. We have to go create. Here we have different options. We have to go into forms section and choose form wizard. Form wizard we choose. Let's first choose the source for the entry form, and for us this is going to be child table, so it's already kind of chosen. Let's now choose the fields we are interested in. So the first one is last name, first name, child ID, gender, date of birth, reg name, reg date, and food allergy. Pretty much the first, how many? Like first 7 fields. Amazing. Great, we chose them. So we go next. This is the step where they ask you what type of data form do you want, and they say columnar. So it's default choice, columnar. We don't change anything here. And for the name, we can keep it like this. We can change it. You can say like child table entry form, for example. It doesn't matter. Okay, and let's go finish. This is how our data entry form looks like. We have it on the left also. Here you have kind of each record displayed more like nice way, and you have here below the counter, yeah, like what number of the record it is. You can go right, left, you can go to the end of this record, yeah, to the beginning also if you click this, and you have a button to create a new one, so we will use that later. Great, we made a new entry form. What are we supposed to do now? We're supposed to place in your evidence document a screenshot showing your form with the record from the database displayed. So we basically just need to take a screenshot of how it looks like, what we just created, with some record. They don't say which record, just some record. Everything has to be visible. So let's go Windows Shift S. We have to include the name, just like name of the form, title, and some things. I don't think we have to choose that. This is good enough. So this is our screenshot. We have to put it for step 15. Let's make it again. It goes to the next table. We can make it a bit smaller. Doesn't have to be that big, but we have to still force it to go to the next page. Yeah. So it looks a bit better with a title and content on the same page. Let's continue. Step 16. This is, I guess, the most important part. So in the form created in step 15, create 5 grouped radio buttons. The user must be able to select one of the following options. What do we have here? So we should create a new kind of element in our data entry form. They should look as radio buttons. So to choose from, kind of choose out of how many? 5. These are the options we have. And also, what they say, the option selected must be stored and displayed in the ailment ID field in the child table. So we have to store the chosen option as a kind of index of this option as a number in the database. We have to label it like this, ailment, and then here's some information we should some restrictions we should kind of enforce. So radio buttons are grouped as one option group with the label ailment. Okay, the option selected is stored in the ailment ID field in the child table. Okay, all right. So I mean, the first option is kind of by default. When we make option group, you will see it's kind of make it as one block. The second option, we'll do it on the way. Then what do we have? All labels in the form are aligned to the left consistently and do not overlap other data in the form. Just when we edit, it has to be like nicely aligned with all other elements. Then we have to take screenshot of what we just did. So radio buttons grouped as one option group and with correct label. And we should kind of prove that we actually linked this radio buttons, like this element, with a database, with a specific field in the table which we store it. So we have to store it specifically in this field. We will see it is actually very clear how to specify it in the in the process of creation of this new like kind of block of this new radio button. So let's do step by step. Again, there's a lot of description, but I hope it will make sense when we start doing it step by step. So first of all, we want to add new element to our data entry form. So we should go right click on the name on the tab, go design view. By the way, you can also change it here. It doesn't matter. For me, it's just more convenient to do it in here. Okay, so we have to edit. First of all, do they actually ask where it has to be added? Just create 5 grouped option, 5 grouped radio buttons. This is, yeah, they don't say, just somewhere. So let's just edit in the end. So to edit in the end, we have to make this block with detailed larger, like just make it larger, maybe like this. We can fix it later, but for now, let's just make it like this. And somewhere below, we're gonna have our new block. So in general, where do we get all the elements, all new elements to add? It doesn't always have to be option group. It's just this type of task asks for option group. Yeah, so when we're talking about option group, so we can even click on this button to see all the options. We have label, we have other things. You can just put your cursor and just read what it says. So for actual radio buttons, this is what we choose, option group. So it says option group XYZ. If you're not sure, I guess you can try kind of trial and error to see what looks like radio button. Like this maybe look like radio button, but it probably just a little bit different or will look different. Or actually sometimes you can use multiple options for the same task. It's not a mistake to choose like more than one. So for this one, I'm going to use this one option group, which says XYZ without the picture, just simple, yeah, XYZ. I'm going to draw this one right below all the elements, and let's start making the content here. So first of all, we should actually specify what type of kind of element are there. So first one is asthma. Let's just put it here, asthma. Then we have diabetes. Do I write it like this? Yeah. Then we have eczema. Okay, then we have epilepsy, right? And the last one is none. Okay, just when it's not out of those 4 options, we just choose none. Be careful with the spelling here. I hope I didn't make a typo here. Asthma, diabetes, eczema, epilepsy, and none. We go next. So first of all, do you want default choice? In the task, they don't actually ask us for that. But like logically, you can choose no, I don't want a default, and logically you can just choose maybe default has to be none as a default one, kind of more standard way. So this is not that important as they don't really ask us to do that. So let's just go next. Okay, this is a kind of important step. Here we specify how do we want to store the information about each element in the database. So kind of, if a person has asthma, we're going to store it as number 1 in database. If diabetes, as number 2, eczema number 3, epilepsy number 4, none number 5. So it all looks good, and actually makes sense that we chose type of ailment ID. If you remember, we chose it a number. So this is, we don't store the names, we store numbers in database. Just maybe make it a bit better. Let's make none to be 0. It kind of makes more sense. Yeah, and we can go next here. So this is an important step. Here we can actually specify in what field do we want to store this information, like in what field of the table. And here we have actually very specific instructions. We should store it in ailment ID field. So let's choose it. Let's go store it value in the field, and let's actually choose the field ailment ID. Go next. We want to choose an option group. This is what we've been asked for. We can also have checkboxes, but for this task we specifically choose option groups. And last step, we have to put a label, and for the label again we have very specific recommendation, very specific instruction. We have to choose ailment. So let's type here ailment and finish. All right, so this is how our new block, our new element looks like. Let's just kind of move it around a little bit. Let's move ailment to the left. Again, just reminding you, if you want to move it separately, like those two blocks independently, you have to click on this gray square. Okay, let's just move it a little bit up also, and just let's try to go our kind of through our checklist and make sure that we finish all the steps. So what do we have? So first of all, radio buttons are grouped as one option group with label ailment. This is done. This looks good. Next one, option is selected is stored in ailment ID field in the child table. This is what we also did. Let me just show you. For example, if you miss this step, or that's what we're going to use it for actual evidence, this information that we store data about kind of where do we store it in the table, this kind of relation to the field, this one is displayed if you click on this block with options here. You have property sheet on the right side of the program, and in the data tab you have here this kind of confirmation that control source is ailment ID. This is the proof that we actually store it in ailment ID, and we're going to use this information when we take screenshot, yeah, to kind of for the proof of what we did, of the relation. Okay, so we did the first option, we did the second option. Third option, all labels in the form are aligned to the left consistently and do not overlap other data in the form. It's already kind of aligned to the left, but just to make it actually strictly aligned to the left, this is what you can do. You can select options here, so let's just select it. Then you can go to Arrange tab here on top, and you actually have button Align, which you can use to align them specifically. So let's choose Align to the left, and amazing, it's aligned. And let's do the same thing for the block on the right. Again, Arrange, Align, and let's align them also to the left. Well, it looks a bit better. Maybe we can move it a little bit higher with this option and this one a bit below. It's not that important. Okay, this is okay. For some reason, I guess I just didn't. Let me just go back a couple of steps. I probably just didn't choose none here. So let me just do it again. So select all the elements, align to the left. Now it looks good. And I'm gonna move element a bit down and this block a bit higher. You also can actually move them with the arrow keys on your keyboard. Looks fine. Great. Now the only thing which is left for us is to take screenshots of what we have just done, have just accomplished. So the first thing is place in your evidence document screenshots. Radio buttons grouped as one group with label ailment. All right, let's do it. We can actually do it in here, or we can do it in the form view. Probably let's make it in form view. So we can do Windows Shift S And just in case, let's just make the whole new screenshot so we kind of actually can prove that we added a new block with ailment and correct kind of block with options which are all look grouped together. And let's actually force this one to go again below. Okay, now we have to take screenshot where we have to evidence of your method of linking the group to the element ID. How do we do it? We have to go to design view, and this is what we've been talking about. So we have to click on this box with just move it a bit down with you know, all the elements. Now you have property sheet on the right. If you don't have property sheet, you have to just right click on this orange frame and choose properties, and it will appear, or you click on this button, property sheet. Okay, so we just have to take some kind of screenshot which shows them together, so that when we click on this box, it says element ID here on the right. So what I'm going to do, just to make screenshot smaller, more visible, I'm going to just make this part bigger, scroll down, and take screenshot which looks like this, Windows Shift S, something like this. Yeah, so this important part, that control source says element ID, and this is selected. Let's just paste it in the evidence document. Amazing. And now we can just move it back. And this is what we're supposed to do for step 16. Amazing. Let's just go to form, view, just review it. Looks great. This is step 16. Right, so step 17, use the form modified in step 16 to add the following data as a new record in the child table. So we just supposed to add a new record using our entry form and take a screenshot, pretty much. So let's go and do this one. In order to add a new record in the table, we have to look at this, I don't know how to say it, like this little menu navigation bar below. And we have different options. So the last button here, if you don't click, just put your cursor, it says new blank, like create new blank, a record. Let's click on this. We have a new record, and now we'll just start typing whatever the content should be. So name of the person is Lambert. Oh, it's actually last name, yeah, Lambert. First name is Jakara. Child ID is 3YR27, gender female, date of birth has to be okay, 04/12/2022. And you will notice that it will automatically fix it, the format, so it's okay, it's not a problem. Right, registration date has to be what? 18/10/2023. All right, so food allergy has to be yes. Let's just remove it and type yes. And ailment has to be eczema. So let's just choose eczema in here. And this is our entry form. This is our new record in the table. So what we're supposed to do, check that it doesn't have errors. This is just what you get points for, pretty much, that you don't have typos for this task. And the next, we have to take screenshot of this record. So let's go Windows Shift S and take a screenshot of this record. We're gonna paste it for the step 17. It not gonna fit in the same page, so I'm just going to force it to the next one. It doesn't really matter how many pages, like, I mean, if it's reasonable number of pages, your evidence takes space, yeah. So it doesn't have to be like as short as possible. You can make it smaller, but I guess the important also element here, important thing is that when you print it, it's visible clearly and the examiner is not struggling to read what you have. So it's not a problem if it's too big, like screenshot, it's alright. Like up to 10 pages, most of the time, not a big deal. Alright, so let's continue. What do we have? So this is step 17, and the last one, it's not actually directly related to entry forms, but let me show also how to do this last step, as it's not usual step as well. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to open table, and we're supposed to select specific record with specific child ID, like the one we just added actually, yeah. So this with this child ID kind of number, And what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to take screenshot of the method we used. So use the use of automated selection method to find the record. So not just like we scroll down and we found the right record, we have to show how to filter the data. And second, we have to take screenshot of the content of all the fields, all 11 fields. Be careful with this one. So all the fields of this record. Let's see. So let's save our form. Let's close it. Let's go back to our child table. So first of all, if we want to display a record or records with a filter, specific filter, how do we do it? This is actually very similar if you actually worked with Excel, with the spreadsheets, well, specifically Excel, as it's the same kind of similar product. We can use the same filtering option as in Excel. So we can just find child ID, click on this little arrow next to child ID, and we can use text filtering. Specifically here, we want only record with this specific child ID. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to this little arrow, text filters equals, and let's write it. So it's going to be 3YR27. And before clicking OK, because we actually want to show this, we want to show screenshot and evidence that we did it. So let's, before clicking OK, let's just take a screenshot. This is going to be enough for the screenshot, and then we click OK, make sure it works, great, and let's paste it for step 18 as evidence. This is not the only one, but to begin with. And second evidence we should take is the content of the table, so that kind of we just want to show the whole record with all 11 fields. So be careful that, for example, here we see the fields, but not all of them. So what we can do, we can hide this bar on the left. So if you click on this button to collapse the bar on the left, let me just zoom out, we actually can see all the fields, but for example this one is not visible enough. We just make it a bit bigger. Again, very important. I mean, it's alright if it doesn't fit on one screen, you can take 2 screenshots, but here it's not that a big problem. We can just make it a bit smaller, this part, this a bit bigger, and let's just take screenshots. So it's all 11, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all 11. Let's take a screenshot, Windows Shift, oops, for some reason it just moved back from me, Windows Shift S. Let's take a screenshot with the name of the table, just in case. We take it like this. And let's also paste it right after our filter thing. And this is actually fine, just in case, because we are going to, how do you say it, like we want to make it visible for the examiner, so we can actually make this a little bit like wider, maybe a little bit even bigger, like this, yeah. Probably we can okay, I mean, you can just play around a little bit so it fits better, but it's going to be fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be super perfect. You can just make it like this. I guess will be more than enough. Just everything visible. We have names, we have content, all the fields are visible. And this is how you do this entry form task, and this one with choosing the fields. All right, so also let's take a look at the past paper, which has another question, another task about creating entry forms. This is again IGCSE for ICT subject. This one is from November 2024, paper 2. So we are specifically interested in this paper in the database task, and specifically only part where you should create entry form. So let me just remind you real quick again how those types of tasks look like. So real quick, so here you have some preparation, it's in the database part, and here you have kind of introduction to the question. You are now going to create data entry form. The form will contain a field with a drop-down menu for the user to select an option from the list. Data from the selected option will be stored in the field in the students table. So here again, you supposed to create data entry form, and kind of what type of element they want you to add there, it may depend. You have to kind of decide on your own. So this one asks for a drop-down menu with specific options. So let's take a look. First of all, just to kind of fix and follow all the formalities, let's create evidence document so that we have space and document to put the screenshots, right? Let's see. Okay, so here's my folder with all the files. Let me just open the file evidence. From here, classical situation, we should put name, surname, and center number, candidate number on every page of the evidence. So let's put it in the header. Put your name, surname, some name of your educational center, yeah, center number, and then let's put doesn't matter which number it is, like your candidate number. On actual exam you obviously will have your own. Let's just put some random number, and let me save this file in the folder which I created specifically for keeping the solution. So here, this file, let's call it evidence. Okay, yes, if candidate number is 0001, let's call it this way, and also let's change the type of the document to Word document. And yes, we want to keep the format. Let's keep the file evidence open and continue. So let's go to the work area folder. If you look at the question, we again going to skip the Word kind of document production part, and we're looking for database part. So let's first prepare databases. What do we're looking for? Okay, dates must be imported in the format day, month, year. This is okay, standard. Almost, I think always they ask for that. But again, just reminder, please pay attention to this first sentence. Sometimes they put some little details which are not difficult to fix and to kind of remember, but sometimes you may maybe forget to read this first paragraph. Sometimes they say like all the currency has to be in this format, all this like dates has to be in that format, and then you get like 1 or 2 points exactly for that, yeah, for following the rules from the first paragraph of the task. So please, you know, don't forget to read all the text, pretty much all the text. So let's start with creating database. You can either open database access, in this case from the from your Windows kind of logo, or you can just, maybe it works for your computer, just right click and go new and create new database. The name doesn't matter pretty much because they don't say how you're supposed to call it, so I'm just going to call it DB for database. And if we go back and let's go into details for this question. So here's the first question, 14. Using database software, import the file students as a new table. Use these field names and data types. So here they explain what types of field names and data type supposed to be, some information. Okay, set roll number as primary key and save the data, and then, well, again, very common situation, we have to take screenshot and put it in the evidence, into evidence. So let's start with that. In order to import a table, you can go to external data. It depends on your version of Access you're using. For me, I have the button new data source from file, text file. For I think older version, you just have the section import, and here you just have a long button import from text file, something like that. So yeah, just read carefully the questions here. So we want to import it from file, and it should be simple text file. Let me just find the folder where I have all the files. For me, it's going to be folder. Okay, here's all the files. So we're looking for the table students. Let me just choose it and open it here. Just zoom in a little bit. So first step, we kind of, it asks, do we want to keep the standard delimiter, which is comma, and this is, I think, all the time is just comma, so we just go next in this step. Here we again specify the separator, which is again, I think, almost comma, so we don't change this. We have to tick this box, first row contained field names. And also, very important, we have to go to advanced settings, as sometimes some of the settings which we kind of asked to follow, to specify. We cannot do it later. Yeah, we cannot do it after creating the table. We should actually do it before, actually do it in this step. So let's see what we can do. First of all, the types of the fields. So here the first 5 fields have short text type. We don't change it. Then we have date time. This is already date time. Great. Then we have this display. We're gonna fix later. Yeah, we're gonna fix it when we create table. After that, then we have 2 text. So roll number text and telephone is text. But here, if you look, we have telephone as long integer. So let's actually change it to short text. Edge October 24. Okay, this has to be number, and if you look, it has to be integer. So long integer is great. Email is text, short text. Okay, great. And well, as it says here in the beginning of the question, format has to be day, month, year. So this is already by default. DMY, we just make sure it works. It's kind of set correctly. Great. Let's just click OK. Go next. Go next. Here's the step with the primary key, and here we should specify roll number as a primary key. So we can go choose my own primary key and specify roll number. Let's go next. Finish. And let's close the table. Okay. We should open the table. Here again, there's all the files are all together. So let's expand it. We have to click on this top left corner block. It select everything and then double click in between any 2 columns. For example, first and second. Just double click. It will fit it exactly to the width of the columns. Just so we can see everything clearly. Now let's go to design view of this table, and here we can actually just specify some settings. I guess we just only have this one DOB setting, so we have to make sure it has this specific format. So date with numbers, month with like 3 letters, and then 2 numbers specify the date. So let's go to DOB. Format is specified in this block below. So in the format we can go to the section and choose the option, I guess medium, or for some reason it's kind of the same format. Let me choose medium date. Okay, let's save it. Let's go to right click datasheet view and just make sure it has the correct format. Yeah, all good, great. Let's go back to design view, and as a kind of finish for this part, let's take screenshot for the evidence. Yeah, let's take screenshot for the evidence. So let's go Windows Shift S. And again, when we take screenshot, we should take table name, primary key, kind of little icon, and names of all the fields and types. So we got that. Now we can specify and paste it to step 14 of our evidence document. All right, let's continue. So we just imported one table. Let's import another one. So another one is table degrees. We supposed to also import it, and here are the information, what are the fields should be, what type it should be, format, things like that, and also subject code has to be primary key. Pretty kind of standard layout of the question. Let's do it. So I'm going to close the table I had before and try to import another one, external data. All right, and file is called degrees. Okay, degrees.csv. Let's just open this file. This first step, we just go next. All the time we have to make first row contain field names. Yeah, just because first row is actually not content, but the names of the columns. Let's go to advanced, and DMY is already there, just to make sure that all the fields have a kind of correct type, or if not, we can change it. So the first 3 has supposed to be text. We have it. Integer is long integer, also fine. Then we have 3 short text types, is alright. So duration is supposed to be number, but it has to be decimal number, which means it's supposed to be double or single type. But okay, double is fine. So you see double, this is a type which represents decimal numbers in excess. So this is great, we're gonna keep it. And for the last field here, work experience, it has to be Boolean logical value, okay, display as yes, no. So we can go and actually choose the type yes, no. So always Boolean or logical values kind of in access, they have names, how to say, like they're called yes, no. Yeah, that's how you know this is Boolean and logical. This is the type. Great, let's click OK and continue for next step. We don't have to skip anything here, they don't ask, so we just go next. We're supposed to choose actually primary key, so primary key is supposed to be subject code. Let's choose subject code as a primary key. Go next and finish. If you accidentally clicked some other field on the primary key when you import table, you can fix it later. You don't have to import the table again, just in case. Yeah, if you want to, for example, change primary key, you can just like you have this little icon of primary key next to subject code. You can just right click, untick the box primary key, and then right click kind of wherever you want it to be. Because for us, we actually want it to be in subject code, so let's just keep it there. But you can change it, yeah. Again, also reminder, it will let you change it. It will let you actually set primary key if the field has unique values in the table. So field cannot repeat for two different records if it's a primary key. So sometimes you have questions. Look at the data and determine yourself what is primary key. So that's the most important property, that it cannot repeat. Yeah, so primary key should be unique for every row, for every record. Right, so let's continue. We in this kind of step, when we go to design view here, we just kind of fix the display of the fields. So level is integer, we don't have any specific information. Duration has to be decimal, but it should have one decimal place. Let's do it. Let's click decimal, or let's click duration. Here below we have kind of all different settings. How to make it to have one decimal place. Yes, we should change it here to 1, but it's not enough. We also should go to format and choose fixed as a type. So fixed will make sure that your number always has, like, always aligned to one decimal place, always formatted like this, because if your number, let's say, doesn't have decimal place at all, like for example number 5, it will be shown as 5 if you don't change the fixed, but you want it to be 5.0. So in order to enforce the decimal places, so it always all numbers have one decimal place, you have to also choose fixed, and this is what you expect it to do. Yeah, so please, when you have double, please choose fixed in the format, and well, decimal place as well. Last part here is work experience, Boolean, logical. We have to make it so it displays as text. Let me click on this one, so highlight the row work experience. Let's go to lookup here below, and again, I think it depends on the version of the program. So normally, if you think logically and makes sense, you're just supposed to choose text box, so it's yes, no, and you're supposed to choose checkbox, so it's a tick, you know, like inside the box. Sometimes if it's not working as you expected, just choose different one. I think maybe for a previous version you're supposed to choose combo box for some reason, so it displays as text. I'm not sure why, but okay. I mean, for me, just text box, and it's supposed to work. And in order just to make sure that your kind of settings worked fine, you can just go back to the datasheet view, and let's take a look if it's actually displayed as we expect it to be. Work experience is actually yes and no, great. And duration, you see, it forces it to be one decimal place even if there's no decimal places at all, and that's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want it to be. Let's go back to design view to take screenshot for the evidence document. So we're supposed to take it and paste in the evidence document. We go Windows Shift S, take a screenshot, and we place it in the same step, right? Yeah, step 14, just below the previous screenshot. We just paste, you know, second table thing. Great, let's save our table and continue for the next step. So let's see. Next step is about creating one-to-many relationship. Let's see. All right. So what do we have? Let's create one-to-many relationship between subject code field in degrees table and course code field in students table, and place screenshot. So let's see how to do it. We're gonna close the table. How to create a relationship between two tables? We have to go to database tools. On the top, go to relationships button. Here we have two tables. We just double click on those tables and we can close this window. Let's just make them larger here, yeah, longer and completely visible so we can see. All right, now we're supposed to kind of relate and connect two fields: subject code field in one table and course code in students table. So subject code in degrees table, here we go, with course code in students table. So here's subject code, here's course code. So how to do it? You just drag and drop one on top of another one. Yeah, so drag subject code on top of course code. Here's, you know, here's like a little window explaining what to do. Let's take a screenshot of this one before creating the actual relationship. So we take a screenshot, click create, and we should paste the relation into our evidence document. This is more or less standard because this specifically, I would like to discuss specifically about entry form, so I'm not going to every little detail here. So I hope it makes sense what we're doing here. So let's go next. We are going to skip this step 16. This is about creating reports, and this video is specifically about creating entry forms. So let's go to the entry form question. It's not related to the previous one. It depends. Sometimes it may relate, sometimes not. In this specific example, it has no relation to step 16. So we're just going to skip it and go to step 17, just in case. Obviously on your real test, you don't skip any question. It just, for the purpose of this video, I just want to focus on creating data entry form. So let's see what is the question here. You're now going to create data entry form. The form will contain a field with a drop-down menu for the user to select an option from the list. Data from the selected option will be stored in a field in a student's table. So I guess it's more or less straightforward. We're just going to create entry form and just edit a little bit. Yeah, let's see. So right, so step 17, create columnar data entry form using selected fields from the students table. So we want make an entry form. It should contain those fields, and pretty much that's it. And then you just take a screenshot of this entry form. So how do we do it? Let's close relationship. Let's save it. Okay. How to create entry form? You can go create form. Okay, here's the forms, form wizard. We make it based on students table. So let's go choose students. We don't want, well, we don't have to include all the fields. We actually should include only the fields which are listed here. So roll number, first name, last name, and so on. Roll number, first name, last name, gender, date of birth, telephone, email, and that's it. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields, and we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields. Yeah, all the fields are fine. So type of form we want to create here is, well, it's supposed to be columnar. Yeah, it says here columnar entry form. So it's by default already what we want. So let's go next. We can change name. I guess it's not important. They don't ask us to change name specifically. You can just say like students entry form, for example, just to make it look a bit more nice. Here we have the entry form, and this is step 17. We just should now take a screenshot with kind of with all the steps. Place on your evidence document a screenshot showing your form with a record from the database displayed. That means we should take a screenshot from this part. So let's go Windows Shift S, and again let's take name, I guess, title and all the fields. It just has to be clearly visible. Everything has to be clearly visible. This is enough. And let's put it for step 16 we skipped, so it's going to be step 17. And let me actually maybe just gonna make it a bit smaller, I guess, so it fits on the previous page. And this page is going to be the next one. Great, yeah, this is step 17. So now we have a kind of step with many sub steps like details. So let's go step by step, try to kind of do it and not to get confused. So don't worry, maybe recommendation here if you're not sure about the task or you're doing the first time, and in general this is just recommendation, try to maybe read the whole task first just once and then read it again and try to go step by step. So let me just real quick read most important part. So here, so what did it say? Import the file country codes as new table, set ISO code as primary key, that kind of straightforward. On the form created in step 17, create new control using drop-down menu which lists each code from the country codes table. Place this control between DOB and telephone field. So somehow we're supposed to edit our form, yeah, and put the new kind of element in this form somewhere. Yeah, we'll discuss more in detail in a while. And what we're supposed to, so this new element is supposed to be drop-down menu, and it's supposed to have this properties, yeah. So the list displays ascending alphabetical order. Okay, so this is the order of elements. It displays only unique values. Data entry is limited to only ISO codes listed. Okay, right. So basically some kind of, how do you say, like restrictions on what we see. The ISO code selected is stored in the nationality field in the students table. Okay, so we're supposed to label it specifically, and then we're supposed to put evidence. Okay, drop down menu list, drop down menu label with text fully visible. Right, data entry controls that only unique values are listed. So kind of what they ask here, it has to be ascending order, it has to be unique values, yeah, it has to be only taken from table. So all these things they kind of want you to do, and also take screenshot and prove that you actually did it. That's what they say here in the evidence part. Data entry controls to limit data entry from the list options. And okay, let me just read the last one. The control applied to save the controls applied to save the selected option in the nationality field of the students table. Okay, and we kind of want to add this new block, new element, choose it, and then save it in the table, in our database, in our table, yeah, for the our kind of one of the tables from database. So let's go now from top down and actually try to do the task. So first step, import the file countrycodes.csv as a new table and set ISO code as primary key. This is nothing new here. We're just going to go again, external data, new data source from file, and import new text file, specifically country codes. Let's go in browse, choose country codes, click OK. Here first step, kind of always click OK. On this one we always have to tick first row contained field names to make it with a header, yeah, heading. Right, there's no information about what types field supposed to be. So if we go to advanced, everything is kind of standard, and it's okay because they don't ask us for anything specific. Maybe the only thing could be to check that it's DMY here. Maybe if your computer doesn't have DMY by default, so you can just check it again. But we don't even have date fields here, so it's really not important. We go next, and primary keys supposed to be ISO code. Let's go choose my own primary key. Yeah, ISO code, it's already chosen. Go finish. Let's open our table just to see how it looks. Yeah, looks fine. We're not supposed to do anything else. And just in case, because sometimes it's not obvious, here they don't ask you to take screenshot of this table, so you should not. Yeah, you should not take it. Right, let's continue. So next part here on the form created in step 17, the one we just created in the previous step, create a new control using drop-down menu, which lists each ISO code, from the country codes table. Okay. So we kind of, what do we want? We want kind of a drop-down menu, like options to choose from, and this option should be taken from the table we have just imported. Yeah, so it has like, I don't know how many different country codes, and we don't want to type it ourselves. We don't want to, I don't know, basically, yeah, we want it to be meaningful and don't want to type it ourselves. So we can say, please take it from the table. Just do it automatically for us and take all the options from the table. Amazing. And that will be kind of nice when for a person we can choose what country this person is from, I guess. Yeah, so it can be automatically choice for us. Yeah, so the person doesn't make a typo, all the stuff. But okay, you don't have to go into much into detail. Pretty much we just want to connect this new element with our table which we imported. So let's go to our form, right click on the name, design view. So this element has to be what? Between the DOB and telephone fields. So we supposed to do it in between, so between those two blocks. So we just will make this one larger. Let's select these all blocks and using, accidentally selected too much. Just select these 4 blocks. Oh, actually, yeah, so what do we want? Between DOB, so we have to select telephone and email. And I'm just going to use my mouse, not mouse, but actually on the keyboard, yeah, buttons on the keyboard, keys just to move it down. How much it has to be down, it's hard to say because, okay, probably because it's drop-down menu, it's just like one line, so it doesn't have to be too, too low, but you can always fix it back. So we just leave some space for our new field. Okay, this has to be drop-down menu. This, I don't know, maybe for me it's more like most tricky part, because you have to decide what, so you have to go to form design tab on top, and you have to actually decide which block, which element actually let you make a drop-down menu. So if you look here, maybe intuitively you can say that this looks like a list and this looks like a list. And well, I can tell you that, so if you choose list box, it will give you list of options, but it will not show as drop-down menu. It will show like as a little, I don't know, window where you can which you can scroll through and choose out of list, and it will show you like, I don't know, it depends on how you want, but let's say 10 values at a time, one selected, and then 10 values at a time, and you can scroll through it within the window. And this is actually not really what drop-down menu is. We want it to be as a one thing, and then we click on the little arrow, so drop-down menu appears. So in order to make an actual drop-down menu, we have to choose this one. We have to choose combo box. So we choose this one, and let's draw it in between the OB and telephone. Right. Now let's see what do we want here for the for the settings. So okay, what do we have? I want the combo box to get the values from another table or a query. Yeah, I will type in the values that I want, find the record from my based on the value I select from my combo box. Basically, we want it from another table. That's what they asked. So let's choose the first option. Great. So we want it from table which we imported. You can kind of pay attention that we can choose what do we want to see here: tables, queries, or both. Because okay, here we don't have queries, but sometimes it can actually potentially say make a query and then make a selection from the query. So mind that you can choose it here. So we only want tables, and this is the table we're looking for, country codes. So we choose it. Let's go next. Which field are we looking for? Actually, just ISO code. Everything else we really don't care. So let's just choose ISO code. Go next. Right. So now we, as we kind of chose the table, chose the field. Now we can specify, I guess, other settings which we've been kind of asked for to do. So we supposed to do it according to the kind of list of questions here. So the first question is to make it in ascending alphabetical order. So we choose first of all the field name, and we can choose, do we want ascending or descending? For us it has to be ascending. Yes, so alphabetical order. So we choose it and we go next. This is how it's supposed to look. Doesn't matter, you can change it here, you can change it now. We're not supposed to change anything. We go next. And here's the question. Right, so okay, for some reason it's later. So the list displays unique values only. This we're going to discuss and talk about in a while. This one is a bit again weird, because if you think about ISO code is primary key, so it's already unique. We don't have to do anything extra for it to be unique, because it's already primary key. But I'm just going to show you if that's not the case, what to do in this situation, like what settings you can actually specify what to do, because even if it's not primary key, you can still enforce it to be unique. So we're going to do it, but a bit later. Right. Then we have what? Data entry is limited to only ISO code listed. This what we did, yeah, because we chose the table. So that's kind of we did. And we're also going to discuss how to how do you say it, like how to prove it, which evidence to, like what to screenshot for evidence in order to prove this bullet point number 3, but we did it. And bullet point number 4, the ISO code selected is stored in the nationality field in the students table. This is an important step. So we should choose the ISO code, and we should store it in specific field. So, and this is exactly a step about it. So they ask you pretty much, do you want to store it or not? And you say, yes, I want to store it, store the value in the field, and the field is nationality. In order to prove that you did it, like, as how do you say, like, again, for screenshot, for evidence, you can actually take screenshot here, but you don't have to, you can do it later. So we're going to see how to do it later. Let's go next. And right, how do we want to label it? They have very specific, very, how do you say it, like, straightforward name here. It has to be country code. Let's type here country code for the label. Finish. So that's looks like, yeah, that looks like drop down menu with a field, with a type. We can save it and look at the form view just to make sure it looks like combo box. Yeah, looks good. We're gonna align everything a bit later, so let's try to do what? Let's go back to design view and let's actually try to fix two things. So I guess important, this one, which is before taking screenshots or everything, we have to figure out what to do with this, with unique values stuff. So it's kind of already unique, but what if it's not? We actually have to enforce and show that we know how to make it unique. So how to make it unique? Let's click on nationality on the border of it. It becomes orange, and then when we click on it on the right, you're supposed to have property sheet panel. If you don't have it, you can just right click on this orange border around it and go properties, and then you have this property sheet. So we're gonna need it. What are we going to do? So we're going to look at our settings and see what to do. So actually a couple of things we need in this setting. So first of all, okay, ascending sort and ascending order. This is, if you look carefully, let me just maybe make it even bigger and zoom a little bit. So if you look carefully at this settings, so if you look at this property sheet, you have here long kind of description. This is detailed information what happens with your table, kind of text description. So to make sure that it's already sorted in specific order, this is the part which is responsible for it. You don't have to really understand it, but you can just double check yourself with this. Next, what about, maybe I'm going to choose different color. So we did this part, we did. What about the list displays unique values only? Okay, let's do this one. So list displays unique values only. So we're going to go, and in this row source kind of option, we have here 3 dots. So let's go and click on these 3 dots. If you click on these 3 dots, it will open you, let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, some settings here. So from the settings, we can actually specify the unique. All right, yeah. So how do we make it unique? So we have to do what? We have to right click on this. We have to right click on this gray area and go to properties. Well, okay, I closed it accidentally, but okay, you just right click on this gray area, or not on the table, but like somewhere away, yeah, somewhere here. And you have property sheet with all the settings. Here, how to make unique values, you have these settings right here. Unique values, it says no. So let's go and change it to yes. And that's how you make it unique. That's how you make it unique. So let's save our whatever it is, query builder, and close this one. So now how to make sure that like you actually have unique values, you have a new command here. You don't really have to understand it or remember it, but maybe, I don't know, if you remember, it's just like a hint. This is a sign that those values actually will be unique for you. So this distinct word means that values are unique. Great, we did this unique part. So let's tick this box with unique. Next one, data entry is limited to only the ISO codes listed. So how do we make sure that it's only limited to the table? Because if you think about it, if we don't, I can even show you this part. Let's save it. Let's go to form view. Right now it says, for example, nor, but I can type whatever I want here and I'm not going to get a mistake. But we don't really want that. Yeah, we want it, that's the task says. Yeah, so task says it has to be restricted to the options from this drop down menu. Let's go back to nor. Here, so yeah, so how to enforce it? Let's go to our design view. Just in these settings, you don't have to go anywhere specific. Again, while we select nationality, we have to go to limit to list settings. Yeah, here, limit to list, it says no, so let's change it to yes. Actually, yeah, let's change it to yes. Now it's limit to list. And now if you save it and you look at the form, it will not let you to change it to something random. So if I try to remove nor and type whatever I want, it will gonna give me an error. It says text you enter is not item on the list. Yeah, so this is kind of tells you choose something from the list. That's exactly what we want. Let's save it. Let's go back to design view. So we just did this one, and we also wanted to store it in nationality field. How to make sure that you store it? It's again, if you look at the nationality in property sheet, you have this little kind of information here on the first one, control source, nationality. That means exactly what they ask you for. So pretty much we did all the steps. Important part here is now to take all necessary screenshots. Let's take a look. So first of all, drop down menu list we want. We also want drop down menu label with text fully visible. I'm thinking maybe before taking screenshots, let's align everything nicely. So I'm going to close property sheet right now. So let's align the country code with all the other names of the fields here. How to do it? You can just move it around yourself, but I guess very comfortable way to do it. While we when we select it, we can go to arrange, and in arrange we have align button, and we can click left, so it will be left align altogether. And let's do the same thing for the values here. So we select all of them. Let's go arrange, align to the left. Just make it a little bit a little bit more nice. Great. Let's see. So what we're supposed to take screenshot of? We're supposed to take screenshot of drop down menu list. We're supposed to also drop down menu label. So we want the list and the label. Right, what else? Data entry controls so that only unique values are listed. Data entry controls to limit data entry to the list options, and the controls apply to have selected nationality field. So pretty much, so those two things are related just to values, and then these three things are related to the settings. Yeah, like to this one, unique values, ISO codes, and nationality fields. Yeah, so let's just take maybe 2 screenshots. So you can make more, it doesn't matter, but you will see. So the first 2 we can take 1 screenshot. Let's just go save, and let's go to form view, and maybe we can open it to just make sure, to demonstrate that it looks like a drop down menu. And let's take screenshot of this thing. So you can make it like this is enough. Yeah, this is fine. So now if I go to step 18 and just paste it, this is how my screenshot looks like to demonstrate the title, the label, country code, and drop-down menu list, which looks pretty straightforward. Yeah, that we have options from the table. Okay, great. Now, how do we show that? So the first, shows that label and shows that it's drop-down menu, like as an element. Now, how do we show that? First, it has unique values. It only limits to the list from this table. Yeah, so we can not type something random we want. And we store the data in nationality field. So all the settings, if we click on nationality, right click on this orange border, go to properties. We have it all in this setting. So let's just scroll down a little bit so it's aligned together and it's clear that it's for nationality field. So we want in screenshot, what do we want? We want nationality to be there. Nationality, I accidentally misclicked. We want also select, we want distinct. This means unique values, not repeating. We want order by for the sorting, I guess. And we want limit to list. So we want all this, I don't know, like how many, like 5, 6 rows to be in the screenshot. So let me just zoom out a little bit and maybe make it even closer and like this. Windows Shift S. You can make all the settings, but you don't have to. Like this is enough. Great. So this is the screenshot with pretty much what they asked for. You can make this one a bit bigger, like this, so that because when you print it, it's not maybe that visible, that well visible. Maybe make it a bit bigger also. So I guess it's enough. It's fine. So kind of readable, so obviously the more readable the better, but I guess it's very clear, that we have here limit, yes, select distinct, table is chosen, nationality, that looks good. Let's save our evidence document. So we did the evidence, amazing. So let's continue for the step 19. Now what do we have for step 19? Use the form edit in the step 18 to add following details. In this step, they just ask us to enter new information in table, new record in table. Use the form to add the following details. Just check it and then take screenshot. Let's do it. So in order to make a new record in table, I'm just going to save it and let's go back to form view. In order to make a new record in a table, we have to, in this kind of navigation bar below, we have to choose this like play button with the little yellow square, I don't know, which says if you put your cursor on top of it, it says new record. So let's click on it and just start typing whatever they ask to type. So the roll number has to be TU009. Okay, 0009. First name has to be Carlos, last name Diaz. Okay, I'm just gonna type whatever they say here, right? Okay, February is 0.2, so they will figure out that. You can type the date like this and it will fix automatically for you to make it February, So country code is ESP for Spain. Telephone is, okay, I'll just type the telephone. Right. And 28 at the end. And email supposed to be Carlos Diaz Tavara. Okay, Carlos _ Diaz at Tavara.ac. Okay, be careful here just to type everything fine, so you don't make a typo of this, what you get points for. Looks good. Let's take screenshot of this one. So Windows Shift S, and let's take screenshot of this newly added record. This is step 19. So I'm gonna force it to another step, another page. Maybe we can make it smaller. It's not that important, but okay. Great. So this is the question. This was it, and that was the way how do you create entry forms, how do you edit it, and put some settings on it. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you.